all beings, y'all. Let's get it.
Put your hands together. Put your hands together.
Can I get a amen? For everybody out there in Massachusetts and all over the country that's supporting Free Karen Reed, Free Sandra, or Justice for Sandra, Enrique, Just en Route, Free Turtle Boy. Can I get an amen? Welcome back to Calling All Beings, everybody. I'm your host, DJ, and I have a very special guest for you tonight. She is one of the Standout Warriors. You know what I'm talking about? Because she was out there with a whole lot of people today, and we're going to get into it. What happened outside of Meatball Morrissey's office, what happened inside the courtroom, and everything therein, okay? So it's a pleasure to be back with you. And also, we got to get ready for this weekend, baby, because Young Jelly, my man, Mike Crawford, coming in the house. So don't sleep on it, brother. We're going to get into it. But before that, my favorite superstar from Massachusetts is up in the joint. So I wish that y'all would give her a sweet cab welcome. Put your hands together for Beatriz!
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah! Hello, Beatriz. How are you, ma'am?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. I've been anticipating this all day. I knew you were out there with all the homies. Took a day off of work to make the damn thing happen, and then you're like, when I got off work and we spoke, you're, I'm bursting at the seams. I gotta talk about what happened. So I was like, you gotta hold it. It's like, I hate to make the analogy, you have to go to the bathroom, you know, it's that kind of thing, but you got to get to the toilet. So now we're in the toilet, so you can just let it out. But before we do that, let's get an amen to everybody in the chat. Say hi to some peoples.
Yes.
Can you see them? No?
Yes, of course.
Do your thing, man.
All right. What do you want me to
Julie?
say hi to? Okay. Hi, Julie Farrell. Let's see.
LJ.
LJ. Yes.
LJ's in the
It's been a
chat.
long day.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so Beatrice has had a bag of like almonds today for all of her sustenance for the entire day. And this is our new mod, Sherry D. I got
Hi,
to speak
Sherry
with.
D.
Yeah, what's up, homie? I got to speak with her the other night, which was really dope. And she likes your sign, which is showing all of the people. Justice for Officer John O'Keefe. That's what we looking to do as things come apart the seams. I did get a interesting and cryptic message from Mike today that indicated that, you know what? I better wait until I talk to Mike, because I don't know if he put this out public, but it seems like some of the rats on the other side that are trying to pretend that Karen Reed is guilty. And I'm using the word pretend. Hey, Jen T, what's up, homie? Pretend, I think, is the operative word there, because we know that they know that she's not. There seems to be some sort of collusion between some of those figures and some people in law enforcement. People that heretofore not previously known. How about that, huh?
Mhm.
Okay. She looks intrigued. Okay. And with that, I'll be here all week. Please tip your bartenders and wait staff. All right. So, Beatrice, please take it away, my friend.
Well, let's see. We began at Dedham Courthouse at 9:05 this morning. I got there. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice big crowd. So I decided that I wanted to go in the courtroom. So I got in line for that. It was supposed to start around 10, and they didn't let us in till like 10 past I'm sorry, 5 past 10. It was a lot of waiting. It was 31 degrees out there. It was very chilly. I wasn't dressed for the weather. Um, yeah, so I got to go in the courtroom with a lot of very cool people and got to see Auntie Bev in person and, all these
I'm sorry
amazing
to hear that.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. It was definitely really cool. But at the end of this, like, that somebody's fighting for their life. So as cool as it was to experience this, like, I can't imagine what Karen and her family are going through. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, you don't want to fangirl out or fanboy out too much
Yeah.
when I'm seeing all these people, but yet the reason that we're here is because they're trying to put somebody in prison that is factually and obviously innocent. I was going to ask you that since you mentioned that name, Beatriz. Can you speak about your thoughts about Judge Bev for a couple of minutes, maybe?
I mean, she so many thoughts, so many thoughts. I mean, I feel like she just comes across a little bit abrupt. When each attorney was trying to talk, she cuts in and, starts asking questions and almost like derails the conversation almost. So I do feel, I mean, I felt like a part of me thought she didn't look as intimidating in person and her voice didn't sound as intimidating. But she's definitely very like, she wants whatever she's thinking is what she wants answered, not necessarily what, you know what I mean? Like the topic at hand, like the interruptions. I mean, she wasn't too bad today. But definitely when, she's given them their time to speak and, it's constant interruptions and, the huffing and puffing.
So she thinks she's like one of those judicial Supreme Court justices, like we saw at the SJC the other day, where actually they're supposed to do that. It's expected, but she probably fancies herself one of them, so she acts like that in the Superior Court.
Right.
So,
I mean, definitely
like
not as abrupt as we saw at the SJC. That was like, wow. But I mean, that's the norm for them. And, they want to keep the, yeah, I mean, Sherry D, to answer your question, she did seem fair. She did seem to, Hank, I believe that was his first time in front of her. So she definitely fair in the sense that she gave them both the same amount of interruptions and huffing and puffing, like she just seemed annoyed. Like, and I think that's what you pretty much get from her is that she just seems annoyed and doesn't want to be there.
How ironic. Well, she 100% wants to be there because she has
She won't take herself out.
Yeah, she won't take herself off it. She won't recuse herself. She probably made sure that they switched her off of the Brian Walsh trial to be here, which I just, don't agree with. And the thing, I kind of had like a little speech set up for Morrissey and Judge Bev, and it's so absurd, at least during the trial. So irrespective of today, because today could be an anomaly, but what we saw in trial and what Richie Microdots put out showed how many motions they ruled against the defense, how many for the Commonwealth, how many objections they got, and the fact that she even told Alan Lally, do you want to object in at least one case? And the thing is what I don't understand about you two, and when I say you two, I'm talking about Mike McAlbert, the DA, and I'm speaking about Judge Bev. And what I don't understand is how you adjudicate and figure out who is worthy of justice and who is worthy of favor. And is it because there's somehow like you've drawn these lines on the map? I mean, you clearly hear this woman, as Proctor calls it, with the Fall River accent. Obviously, she's born and raised in Massachusetts, went to college there, became an adjunct professor there, works there, has become singularly successful. Why don't you like her? Why doesn't she deserve the same favor? Why doesn't she deserve the same favor as the McAlberts? Is it because the line on the map says that Norfolk County enters here? Is that what this is about? I mean, even if you're such an idiot to think that it really matters what state someone comes from, as if that somehow makes somebody better because they're from X state instead of Y state, which is the stupidest, most absurd thing. But even if you are that dumb, I mean, she's still from Massachusetts. Is it because what is it? Is she not worthy? I mean, talk to me, Beatriz.
I mean, if we believe in the theory that, there's more behind Auntie Bev and, what she's doing, I feel like it's intentional. I think she's because we've seen, sometimes I've been on streams and, like Melanie Little, one of the times, ended up staying on Zoom and we watched her speak to other defendants. And it just seemed like she was a lot nicer to them. So I just feel like it's intentional. And she doesn't try to hide it. Like she's definitely, it's intentional, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is Alan Jackson lesser of a person because he happens to reside in LA than that he's from Massachusetts? Does that mean Unetti's better? Is he better?
No, I mean, I think she has an amazing team who have her back. And
no, but I mean, in their eyes, like, does that
right? Oh, yeah.
What is the determination here of who should be given? I mean, the presumption of innocence and should be given favor, and it's just absurd. Let me ask you this: do you think that there is any legs to that the Nagels rented a property from her at the Cape?
I mean, can you imagine like a Venmo that happens to have her husband's name and her name misspelled? I mean, it's like, wow, it's just too much coincidences. Like that's the whole thing about this case. There's just too many coincidences that or just the in side stories off of this. It's like it's so crazy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, so to me, again, going back to being a civil servant, which a role I play. If someone said to me, it appears that there's some impropriety here, I would like you to recuse yourself from adjudicating this case as a result of the fact that it looks like there is a connection to people who were in the freaking house.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me do Melanie Little in the ducking house.
Speaking of,
yeah,
hold on, my duck just was flying.
Where the hell is my little duck that I got from Suzanne Cleveland? That also says on the bottom of it, "If you know, you know." So
all right, hold on. I had to pick up my duck. I literally went to put it down and I sent it flying.
You gotta have
no
the duck,
flying ducks yet.
So we've got a lot of stuff here. Hi, Kelly in North Carolina. Welcome. Can't you take a red eye Annie Bev to AJ? What a my God.
Yes,
yeah, I mean,
happens.
so the civil servant that's not a judge, somebody that I think Melanie alluded to this is that you take an entire test on ethics as part of, I think it's a day of the whole thing where you test on ethics. And now you're a judge, so now ethics are even more important than just simply being an officer of the court, right? And this person doesn't recuse themselves. Like, I would have, if it was me, like DJ, I would have said, hey, man, you know what? I understand the motion. We can get another judge to sit on this case. So that way there's no appearance whatsoever of impropriety. But what do these idiots do? They do the opposite.
And, how about just treating everybody with respect? Everybody that appears in front of you, treat them with respect. And I mean, it obviously doesn't even matter to her that she has a camera on her. And, the whole world is watching. This case has gotten a lot of attention. And you think she would just conduct herself just a little nicer to everybody that appears in front of her, you know?
What I mean, are you surprised in every case when you're like, okay, on this hand, I have this is the right thing, on this hand, this is the wrong thing, and in every single case, you know they're going to do the wrong thing. It just never fails.
Right. And I think we've seen judges in
Thank you,
general in
Jen.
other cases, you can be, strong and still be, have compassion and be polite to everybody appearing in front of you.
Absolutely. You don't want to make Alan Jackson feel like he's not welcome. She's an entire. What does Mark Betterow say all the time? Our friend Attorney Betterow. She's entitled to a vigorous defense.
Absolutely.
And I mean, so what do you want the guy to come in there and act like milk toast and not move the jury? Do you want him to suck, Bev? Is that what you're looking for? You want him to come in there and suck and have his little tie on and go, well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and just hope for the best for someone on trial for murder, you friggin' idiot? He is going to come in there and hopefully his personality explodes on the jury and they believe him and they believe in Karen's innocence. Wouldn't you want that if she was your daughter, you dummy?
Yeah.
Or would you want some milquetoast attorney with a Massachusetts accent? And that's what you're looking for. Would that do it for you, Bev? You dumbass. Jeez. I'm getting all fired up. Man. What else we got here? All right. Judge Cannoni to defense attorney for years. Judge Cannoni was defense attorney. Yes. Yeah, well, you wouldn't know it but power corrupts, right? When you give someone the power, they get that gavel in their hand. And we're seeing that with the particular, not with all police officers. In fact, not with most police officers, but with this group, you are. They get the power and they will abuse that power. And that's what you see in Mike McAlbert using his personal email to email justices and other court officers in the middle of the night on behalf of Jen McCabe. How can you think that's okay? Like,
right.
All right, what else we got here? Britt says, okay, go ahead, please, Beatrice. If you need reading glasses, I do too. It's okay.
So Britt Happen says, and that's what I was responding to. Did you guys hear Bev giving Jackson a bunch of baloney today in court about how he couldn't catch the red eye flight, and responded with, "I catch the red eye for every. I catch the red eye for every hearing. I can't make it that day." So, I mean, today. So pretty much nothing got done today. Like, if we were going to sum up what took place, we were in there from approximately like maybe 10 to 10:15 to about 10:55. And it was a whole lot of nothing. So she started with the Rule 17 motion. So it had to do with Karen's dad, Mr. Reed, his cell phone records. So Hank Brennan starts talking, and he didn't realize that he needed to get records from Verizon, like the process started. So that went nowhere. So what they thought they were going to argue there didn't even end up happening. So she did seem a little, I would say, annoyed. But again, I think she seemed annoyed the whole time. And, said now that has to be moved. I believe that's being moved to November 26th. So, and then it moved on. So one fun fact about today, or not fun fact, but funny thing about Hank Brennan. So he kept referring to the prosecution as the government. So on more than one occasion, when he was referring to, the government, no, not the defense, about himself, like the prosecution.
Oh, yeah.
He kept referring to the government requested this, the government requested that, or the government, he brought it up multiple times.
Instead of the Commonwealth?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, what a douche. Oh,
and
boy.
Then one funny thing that he said, so his voice, I think I actually listened to just about a little while ago, I started listening to Melanie Little's coverage because I wanted to hear what she had to say about today, because kind of to compare what I had gone through versus,
In
you know,
person.
her awesome commentary.
Yeah.
So one thing I did catch, so one thing Hank Brennan said was, "Forgive me, I didn't watch the whole trial," meaning
I'm sure. Yeah,
so,
which is okay. I mean, that's okay. I mean, but
so with a lot of the things he didn't. So they brought up Dauber hearings on Dr. Marie Russell. So he didn't know her name. So the defense had to say, you know, it was Marie Russell. And then he goes, "Oh, forgive me, I didn't watch the whole trial," is what
yeah.
was his comment. So I thought that was, you know, it's kind of funny.
Oh, you mean Dr. Marie Russell, the former Boston police officer, who obviously has it out for police officers, not like because she wasn't a cop for 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to do a Dauber hearing on her to make sure that she's qualified.
Yeah, I know. She only, chief medical examiner for UCLA hospital. I mean, that's a dime a dozen. I mean, those guys,
Right.
you know, might as well be Mayberry, North Carolina. Ken Hathaway, welcome from Nottingham, England. Welcome, my brother. England, obviously one of my favorite places. While I went to school in New England, I actually lived in Old England. So for 3 years.
Nice.
What else we got here? Dr. Marie Russell was approved by Judge Cannoni for the last trial. Why again? I don't know. Because probably because he has nothing and he has to start pulling at straws. The next thing he's going to do is say, we can't have back Frank Sheridan because he sighs too much before every statement that he makes. So that...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good point, Sherry D. She was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Dr. Marie Russell, they were trying to get over because of the fact that she contacted them. I believe she paid her own way to Massachusetts. And they were like, how often have you had a subscription to the Boston Globe? Can you put... Are you kidding, Lally? Do we really need to know, like, how long she's been subscribed to the Boston? She was a Boston cop for 5 years before she went to law school. You know what that means? It means she likes cops. Dummy. I'm going to get excited about it. I live in Mayberry now. We have great... Yes, I know. But if you were the medical examiner of some small North Carolina county, I could understand them having an issue. But when it's like UCLA Hospital and Los Angeles County, you know, these very small sort of hometown kind of operations, LA County, right? Then I think it's pretty legit. All right, what else we got here? Christine Mitchell.
So, and just to add,
Yes, please.
so to Marie Russell, it wasn't that she was, you know, like you said, she loves cops, but she also has a lot of expertise in the bite, a dog bite,
Yes, the dog bites.
or animal bites. So, I mean, yeah, that was crazy, but.
We also have Christine Mitchell here from Manchester. I wish I could do the accent. My friend Dave Smethurst. I know my friend Jess from Manchester would say, I can't be asked. You know, that's... She'd love to say that. I can't be asked. I don't know if that's a common one, Christine, but my friend Jess from there says that. I'm trying to remember the name of the town that she's from that's near Manchester, but I just love England. England is like my second favorite place on earth. I just love England. And I would retire there if I could. All right. So what else we got? So yeah, we got two folks from England here. We have Ken and we have Christine. Welcome. And what does Kelly say here? Sherry D, I'm more in Mayberry than you. Yeah, I bet you. I spoke with Sherry D the other night, Kelly. It doesn't sound like she's from that small of a town. But you get my meaning. I mean, you that is the lingo, right? Yeah, I can't be asked. I just can't. I'd have to look at a map of Manchester right now to see the town that she's from, and I can't do that when I have Beatrice on air, you know, because I could get 3 demerits, and then Gryffindor will be out of the running. So, and anyway, all right. So what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the outside a little bit? First of all, tell us who was there of your friends that you know from FKR.
Well, a lot of people were there. A lot of people that, are just there for every court hearing. A lot of people that, like behind the scenes type people that knew, that know what's going on. So there was probably about, if I had to guess, and I don't like calling it our side because I don't feel that this should even have an issue with sides. Because at the end of the day, we should be all trying to get justice and for the correct people to be held accountable for their actions. So I hate calling it our side, but let's just use that term. We probably had a good 40 people outside. And then in the blue shirts, again, there shouldn't be any sides. There was 3 people standing there. So we watched, the O'Keefe side walk into court. Nobody said a word. Everybody was very silent. And, a couple of people. So as they were like almost at the top of the stairs, somebody said, "Justice for Officer John O'Keefe." And his mom actually went. So that was her.
That's okay.
That's all she did. And that's fine because we, and again, both sides should want justice for Officer John O'Keefe. And then the Karen Reed and her family came in with Alan Jackson, Eliza Little, Yannetti. And the cameras just swarmed them, like walking up to the courthouse. And then we all just waited outside. I mean, the outside crowd, we were just holding our signs. The Mass State Troopers were just there walking around. A lot of them were very, like they had smiles on their face. I think I was expecting a little more, I don't know, attitude maybe from the troopers. I thought that they, there was a couple of times that they cracked a smile at me. And, so I thought they were just being respectful. If you needed to cross the street, they would come out and help. So I thought that went really well. And yeah, what else do you want to know about?
No, first of all, I want to amen that point that you made about. So I've often said that I don't want to be Team Reed because if I'm Team Reed, then that means I'm just for Karen, and no matter what happens and no matter what did happen or what would come up, I would be on that team. And I agree with you. And you fall into it because we're America, right? So you can just see what happened in the election. It's 50-50 or 51-49 or whatever. And unfortunately, we're very polarized. Juries can't agree on anything. You and I have had some of these people that we admire that we call sort of like friends are now fighting over the Richard Allen conviction. So that's kind of what we do. But you're right. I don't want to be on the side. I just want to be on the side of what's right and what's justice. And it's very clear what happened. And unfortunately, we've almost been forced into picking a side, but we don't want to be on the other side. I certainly don't want to razz Mrs. O'Keefe in any way. Hey, what's up? Dennis Sweeney in the building. He's going to be there with us at the free Karen Reed dinner.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
I always say hi, handsome, to him.
What's up, handsome Dennis? I said it wrong. Meal of food. Sorry.
Yes, get it right.
Yep.
Sorry. I think you asked me who was there. So Esty was there. She was first in line. We had Brian LTL, who also went in the courtroom.
Awesome.
Jen Root, Anne Marie were sitting next to me. And then like it was so weird walking into the courtroom because like you have like the O'Keefes were like when you're walking in, the O'Keefes were on the right, Karen's family was on the left. And I almost felt like, when you get to a wedding and you kind of hesitate because you forget which side the bride and groom side is. Like it kind of felt like that. There were more seats available closer but it would have been right directly behind the O'Keefes. So I kind of hesitate. I'm like, where do we go? And then like behind Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe and Nathan and I believe a few other family or friends of Karen was Turtle Boy and Meredith. And then like everybody left that whole, row open. And then the next row was Esty. And Dennis, I believe. Dennis was sitting next to her. And Peter Murphy was there as well. I think he was sitting actually next to Dennis and Esty. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting people. Obviously, the courtroom was pretty packed. They were letting 10 people in at a time. So we got in on the second round of people. So we almost, we weren't sure how many. They've said sometimes they allow 25. They seem to have let a little bit more. But yeah, it was that feeling like, do I sit on the right or the left? Or, so we went on the left. And then, there was in front of the O'Keefes, like on the side, kind of like next to the jury box, was a lot of the reporters. So Christina Rex was there. I saw her after. And she remembered me because I had interviewed with her back in September. So she actually remembered me. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you remembered me. Who yeah, forget? I mean, like, again, like it was an awesome experience. But I mean, obviously I wish this wasn't happening to Karen. I don't think she deserves this and her family. I mean, it breaks your heart when you see her parents, her brother. I mean, and her, obviously. I mean, she has such a battle and, at every corner every time she goes into court, it's just hurdles upon hurdles. It feels like.
Yes. Let's have an interesting experience here. I want you to pretend for a second that you've sat down with Karen. You're looking into the camera here. But what you're looking at instead of us is Karen.
All right. So when I did get to meet her,
you're in first person now.
I know. But because I feel like I did have so much to say, but I think when you actually meet her, you kind of freeze and you don't even know what's coming out of your mouth. So, I mean, what would I say? Like, I'm sorry for your loss. Like, I am sorry that you lost somebody that you cared about and you loved, and you guys had, a family unit established. From everything we hear, she was very attentive to the children. She took on a role.
I'll make some hair so that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
mm-hmm. You were
by
attentive to
everything
the
we've
children.
heard,
Keep
I mean,
going.
she was amazing. I mean, I feel like she's a very, but okay, I'm sorry. I kind of
all right. So
derailed
let's say if I say to her, thank you, thank you. And
I
I'm
would
kind of
say,
nodding
I'm sorry
my head.
for your loss. And I'm sorry that you're fighting this awful system. But I believe that maybe she was, that you were put here on this earth for more. And I think, and continue the fight. We have your back. I would also say that she is amazingly strong and, that we support her 100% and believe in her innocence.
First person. You, not her.
I know, sorry. This is hard because I have so many thoughts that I've held in for so long. So it's like, I'm just,
Well, we can go around the room. Let's go to Hank Brennan. All right, so now I'm sitting down, and I'm going to be Hanky Prank Brennan. So let's do that.
What, you want me to talk to you as like if you
I'm
were Hank Brennan? Like, what would I say to you?
Yeah, what do you want, tough girl? Huh? I defended Whitey Bulger.
I mean, he seems, and kind of a remark he made in court today, that he's been trying to give the defense all exculpatory information, that he's given them all the information he has. So I have to say, I hope that he continues with that, and I hope that he means it. That I hope that he's really there for the right reasons, and and to do the job that he was in, a fair job. So that's what I would say to Hank. Please
Okay,
don't disappoint us.
yeah, okay. Please don't disappoint us. Why would you think I would disappoint you? I'm representing the Commonwealth and justice.
Why would I think it? Because again, if all the information that has come out in the first trial, it's, I mean, like, I can't even believe we're here doing this for a second time. So I just hope that he's fair and he goes after the facts.
You're fair.
And
First person.
I'm sorry. I hope you're
Yeah,
fair.
I'm Hank Brennan. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I hope you're fair and do the right thing. And if you find information that, exculpatory information, that, follow the evidence and not the real, follow the evidence and not just trying to fit the evidence around a specific person.
All right, we'll go back
Please
and do
and
some
thank
more.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Get out of here, kid. I will. We can go back to role play because I have maybe a couple other people that.
Oh, geez.
But they have some questions. I think they really want to know about Tom. I knew that Tom had the hot coffee spilled on him yesterday, but I didn't know he was assaulted today. So that's
correct. So no, Tom was good today. Tom, nothing, like, I have to say, like, of course, like, people always tell us, like, be careful out there. Like, I definitely felt very safe. Like I said, the state police were walking all around. And it was just like you were there with other people that have something in common, and we believe in Karen's innocence. So it was kind of like just, hey, hi, everybody just was very welcoming. Everybody, people that you've seen before, you just greet them. And it was a very, like, laid back, where, attitude outside the courthouse. Definitely. It was very welcoming. And like I said, on the other side was only 3 people, and they just kind of were on the other side of the steps. They weren't across the street. They were just kind of off to the side, and they didn't say anything to anyone. So they were actually respectful. I know I've seen a lot worse on, other times, but yeah, no, they just kind of stood off to the side, didn't really make eye contact. They didn't look like they were there to start any trouble. So it was definitely very laid back and friendly atmosphere. A lot of people know each other, from being there for so long. But yeah, no, it was good. I felt safe, and we definitely showed our support with all our signs. And so what else you got for me? So so anyways, Sherry D, no, he got assaulted yesterday in Stoughton. Today we were at Norfolk County Superior Court in Dedham, and yesterday they were in Stoughton.
Yeah, I'm bringing up Mike's photo because I'm gonna send it to my computer because, oh man, I need the Bluetooth. I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna put up
I know
Mike's
I had
photo.
actually tons of pictures to send you, but we didn't get.
There's no time. By the time I got off work, it was
showtime. If I send you pictures now, if I send them to your cell phone?
I can try and see if they. I should be able to pick them up on iMessage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you.
Absolutely, we can take a look at that. Mike, okay, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh man, is Val back again? Hey, what's going on? Oh. Okay, so Val, would you like to, because since you're an attorney, would you like to expound upon that point? You would ask him what the F was he thinking. I'll just tell you my thought on that we've discussed on the show before, is that I can't really speak for what his reasoning is, other than as a competitive person, that he would want to be able to say, as a selling point, I can outduel this supposed dream team that Karen Reed has hired. From the other, it's not coming up on iMessage, it's coming up as text. But I'll see if I can.
Sorry. I don't know.
No, it's okay. I'll try to email it to myself and see if it'll go that way. But what I was going to say to you, Val, is that oh man, we got 11 images. We're not playing around.
I didn't even send you the. Actually, I'll send you the video
there they
of
go. I
walking
got
out of
him
the
now.
courthouse. That was pretty cool, just to walk out, because everything we see is towards, not as you're walking out. So let me send you this video.
But what I was going to say to Val is that for Hanky Pank Brennan, he will have been interviewed by Michael Morrissey, and Michael Morrissey will have had assurances that he was going to go a certain way with this trial. I don't believe that there would have been any doubt in Morrissey's mind as to what Brennan was going to do, or he would not have hired him. He could have hired another attorney. So that's my thought, is that Mike Morrissey is a very shrewd person, and he will not have left this to chance in terms of what way Brennan was going to go. He would not want to hire someone and turn over full authority as the special prosecutor and have him say a week later, well, I've looked at the evidence, I'm going to dismiss the case. Like, Morrissey wouldn't do that. So he will have had to lay some things out on the table, set the ground rules, and Morrissey would have had to have found satisfaction that he felt, I know how this guy is going to handle this case. Otherwise, he wouldn't hire him. That's my feeling, and I feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. All right, you want the video first or the photos, and we'll see if we can.
Oh, whatever.
It's your choice, man.
So okay, so I did hear a story about Morrissey today.
You did? Okay.
I did. So I don't even remember who, because I was around hundreds of people today. So somebody was saying how they saw him at like a restaurant, and
Five Guys? I'm sorry, no. It's not.
You don't be a troublemaker.
No, it's because they say if you eat too many of those, you'll be as big as Five Guys.
Yes,
anyway,
I'm
sorry.
sure that's why you said it, but okay.
No, Sean, it's my boy. I just swear. No.
All
not
right.
because of the glares thing. No.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So somebody was out to dinner, and I believe they were wearing like a free Karen Reed shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, no, I'm taking that back. Maybe they were not wearing a free Karen Reed shirt. Somebody was out to dinner and said, hi, Morrissey, or something.
Yeah.
And somehow they got into Karen Reed, and he said, I'm taking her down. Like,
Yes, I've heard that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I have heard that.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was like, wow. To have such hatred for somebody, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't, but I in a way I do, in a way I don't, because we don't know. And one of the secondarily interesting facts about this is going to be how it all came together, what he knew when he was new it, and when he decided that he was going to participate, because obviously he had to have decided that this is something that he wanted to do.
Right.
So that is going to be really interesting whenever we find that out. And I don't know why I can't pull this up. This is something I would have maybe had to have pre-coordinated, because I saved it to the computer and now I can't find it. So I may have to eschew the videos and the photos, but for your next appearance of something like this, I'll pre-cord and bring them up, but I don't know where they are, and then I can't pay attention to what people in the chat want to say. We got some people to say hello to, so let's go up here, and we'll put some of these up on the screen. So this was Jim Ferris, the one who, when Turtle Boy showed up by himself to D&E Pizza, he ran away like a little baby. He didn't want anything to do. He wasn't tough with Turtle Boy until he had like 4 or 5 guys around him, which I think is consistent with a lot of these guys. Obviously, Sam Nagel, we've mentioned him on multiple shows. He wouldn't even be near Turtle Boy's face and touch that young lady, Meredith, who's just a lovely person, were it not for him having all that backup there. But that's how cowards are. People with big hearts ain't got no damn quit. Dennis Sweeney. All right. Omani, hello. Welcome in. So, Omani, here we go. All right. Omani. Oh, are you a yogi? Because Om is Om. I'm a yoga teacher. You know this, Beatriz.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, if you would, my friend.
Yes. The problem at Norfolk County DA is that they seem to attach themselves to a storyline and try to win at all costs, regardless of what the truth is. I've seen people like that at my job.
They create a story.
They create a story.
Yeah. Yes, it seems exactly that. And we spoke last night. I spoke with Britt about the word pride. And we have Brits in the chat. So, Christine, if you're here, and Ken, if you're here, do you know the difference, Beatrice, between the word proud, the American connotation versus the British connotation?
No, why don't you go ahead and school me?
So no, like you, for instance, like you're proud of your kids, you're proud of your work, you're proud of your family, you're proud of the work you're doing. In England, proud is it's derogatory. If someone's proud, it's basically like they think they're high and mighty and they think they're better than you. And if they think they're wrong about something, they won't admit it because they're too proud.
Oh, okay.
So if Christine or Christine or Ken were to meet somebody and say, "Oh, what'd you think of DJ? Oh, he's proud. That would mean, oh, he's somebody who just thinks he's all that, thinks he's all that, never wrong, all that kind of person." And that is how I see Morrissey and Judge Bev and all of these characters here. They know they're wrong, but they're too proud and too weak morally to do the right thing. It's the kind of person who, because of your actions, someone suffered. That could be suffering at work, that could be suffering a career loss or a loss of position or a loss of promotion or a loss of life. To them, it's immaterial. It's all the same thing. That's how when we say proud in America, we're proud. In England, it's somebody is excessively prideful of themselves. I guess if I could say it like that. Right. All right, let's go through some of these here. Yes, we got that one. Welcome. Yes, I think there's reason he hasn't watched the first trial. He doesn't want to see what a railroad job this is. That's a good one. You can see Tom's phone abruptly being jarred and shoves. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. Bad days are running together.
They are. Trust me. You can't keep up with the nonsense.
Yep. It was tough for Tom yesterday. Jill Daniels' lawyer told Tom CPU, "Duck you," after Tom said good morning. Yeah, yes. That guy looked like.
So do you know that? So that attorney, and forgive me, I don't know his name. I'm sure somebody can help me. So that attorney's son was there today, who was calling Albert, or at one point, personal attorney. I know. I have when I tell you, I've talked to so many people today. Everything's blending.
Go ahead.
So he actually talked to us for a few moments. He said, I don't want to say he made an excuse for his dad. He said, like, his dad is his own person, but that, it had to do with something like there may have been a recording of him put on Tom's show, and that's why his dad had that reaction. That's what he told us. Again, I can't confirm. It's just what does anybody? Oh, Krowski. LJ saying Krowski. So he was there, and he kind of went over to us and started talking to. Oh yeah, Tima. He was talking to Tima after, and they asked him if he still was representing Colin, and he just said, "Oh, just that one time." So.
Oh boy, who wouldn't be? How could you be more proud of a client than Colin, who said he's never been in a fight until we found all those TikTok videos of him threatening to kick people's ass. If it looks like it, yeah. Does that say Colin?
No, it just so it says if you know, you know. So
I got the same one. I wonder if Suzanne got it from
Listen,
Richie.
I got mine from the man himself. Okay.
From Richie.
Yes. I went to hug him. I go, oh my God, it's really you. Like, oh my God. And I went to give him a hug and he just handed it to me. It was a slip of you wouldn't have even known he gave it to me. But
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. That is so awesome. Was Beatriz right there with you? Cheryl, did you know someone, Cheryl, that was there?
I don't
Cheryl
know. I don't. No, I'm not sure. Possibly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't know everybody's real name. A lot of people
Exactly.
use a screen name, like
Mhm.
SD is a screen name. You know, obviously Boozy is a screen name. I suspect Dennis Sweeney is not a screen name. Brendan might try run for NDA, but he says he won't. But I'll say he won't win. He's a POS, and I don't think you mean point of sale system, like in a store. Okay. But as MM power wanes, Hank might go. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope you're right. I just, unfortunately, like people that know me in real life know that I'm a very optimistic, upbeat person, that things will work out, that we will make something happen that needs to happen. We'll find a way, we'll figure it out. And when it comes to this case, I am the pessimist, the ultimate skeptic that doesn't believe a word that they say. And I think I assume everybody's corrupt until they prove otherwise. And you know what? I'm batting 1,000, Beatriz. I'm batting 1,000 on everyone on their team.
Yes.
And
it
I don't want to be
appears that way.
Well, I mean, the evidence. Okay, then what? If it only appears that way, what suggests otherwise? That anybody's been honest in terms of when they turn over evidence, discovery to the defense. Give me something that I should be encouraged about that they've done. Give me anything.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean, even that. Bev. I mean, today. I mean, she ruled on that. I think she ruled in Karen's favor on the motion about the re-examination of the system, the infotainment. Am I correct?
Unfortunately, the only thing she actually ruled on, which Hank Brennan was a bit confused about, which I'll bring that up. So no, everything she said she would take under advisement. The only thing she did rule on was in regards to the sidebar conversations. She said that the attorneys, which Hank didn't know this, should already have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't need to be unsealed for the attorneys. So she kind of schooled Hank on that because she goes, the attorneys already have access to that. And he was like, oh, like he didn't seem to know that information. He thought they needed to be unsealed in order for him to have access. And Bev said the attorneys already have access to it.
Okay, I didn't know that the defense had access to all the sidebar discussions. So that's
no.
New.
I mean, like Hank was saying that the defense so I'm sorry. Bev was saying that Hank should already have access to that.
Okay. Okay, so, then we need to understand if anybody knows what the motion actually was to begin with, to make sure if it was to unseal them for the public, or was it to reveal and remind the attorneys, because the defense made the motion so that they would have a transcript of all those sidebar conversations. Please put that in the chat if you know. I'm going to scroll down here.
So I think it had to do with unsealing them.
Okay.
But they said, yes, they were requesting for counsel only access.
Okay, and they were granted that.
Yes.
Okay,
that was the only thing she ruled on.
I'm not even down that far as you, but Kelly is our other new mod. So welcome, Kelly, Irish girl from I don't know, she's from Rhode Island or something, but she's going to come down for the FKR dinner.
Nice.
Britt's going to come up from Florida for the FKR dinner. So we should be very, very well. I'm sorry, I keep saying dinner. You have to correct me on that, Beatrice.
Meal of food. Get it right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Here's my stern voice.
Yes, thank you, Mom. That's the mom voice when she's got to discipline her kids. Jim Ferris, while leaving the courthouse after dealing with assault charges, knocked Tom's mug out of his mouth. And Tom got dizzy. He's that tough guy, that's looking for. He's that guy that pretends to be tough. That's looking for a mark. Someone he could. What's this? Did someone mention hair? Okay,
no,
it's not important. Not important.
Yes, Kelly got her hair did.
Oh, got her. Oh, okay. Awesome. All right, show us your hairdo, Kelly.
I know. I'm sure it looks awesome.
I'm hoping Beatriz is going to donate hair clippings to me for January that I can make an appropriate wig, and I could look like mini Beatriz. So anyway, all right. Canoni, her family also worked at the CA's father-in-law. Wait a minute. Canoni, her family also worked with CA's father-in-law. Who is CA? Oh, Colin. Colin Albert's. No, wait a minute. Because the Daniels, isn't that the maiden name of like Jen McCabe? And isn't that her maiden name? Isn't Jen McCabe Jill Daniels' sister? Or am I wrong?
Oh, Jen T clarified. Chris Albert. I know all these names.
Yeah. Come on.
Yes,
all right. Canoni, her family also worked with Chris Albert's father-in-law. Jack Daniels. Okay.
Funny name, huh? Jack Daniels.
Yeah, how appropriate for a family that drinks a lot and gets violent. Man.
Seriously.
Some things just work out, right? That description of proud is fascinating. Oh, yeah, I think the Brits probably went to bed. The Brits probably went to sleep. But I was going to say if the Brits were here, they could explain it. But yeah, proud is not. If you say somebody's proud in England, they're basically saying you think you're all that. And if you ever watch Pride and Prejudice, the one that has Colin, I'm trying to remember his last name now. The original Pride and Prejudice, not the movie with not the movie that came out like a decade ago, but the original 1990s one. It is phenomenal, and they refer to Mr. Darcy. You're very proud, Mr. Darcy. So anyway, aren't you? All right, so we have here. All right, we gotta let Beatriz says this because she has the proper accent. Who do we got here?
Hey DJ, what's up?
The
sorry. Sidebar and grill.
Yeah, because Melanie Little. Melanie Little doesn't. She is so funny. So all right. So one of our listeners, I think it was Catwoman, asked me to email her for a roundtable, and I already done that like quite a while ago. So I did email her today and tell her, look, I'm not trying to get you back on the show. I'm just saying I love your work. I absolutely love your work. And you're so funny and witty. And she goes, yeah. And she's dealing with a lot of harassment right now. So she's not doing a lot of shows, but if, things calm down that she would come on. So that was all. Because one of our friends of the show is like, you got to get her on a roundtable with Better. I'm like, dude, you have to tell me twice. All right. What do we got here?
Am I reading this? You need to.
Someone who has the cooler voice.
Okay.
Someone who has hair.
Bev, other cronies have been telling themselves the same story about themselves, and emphatically that anyone who disagrees becomes the enemy. Yeah.
And infallibility. Yeah. That they're infallible. They can't make a mistake. They're perfect. And who's M? We got to figure out who MM is. You guys are killing
Morrissey, right?
Mike Morrissey, or Mike McAlbert. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's that. You're right. That's consistent. Let's see. Anything else here? Yeah, let me know if there's something else we need to get up on here, and we'll get it on here. Jen McCabe's maiden name is Weeks.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how I'm getting Daniels and all that. How I don't want to conflate.
So Jill Daniels is Chris Albert's wife's sister, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm not afraid to admit if I'm wrong, but again, all these people are so interconnected that it's like, oh, it's like you forget sometimes.
Yeah. And that probably gives Jill Daniels some sort of royal treatment within the town, right? Like so is it, let me ask you this, what is the PowerPoint, Beatrice? Is it the Alberts? Like, where's the connection point that you become powerful? Is if you're connected to, like, are the McCabe's now powerful because of the Alberts? Or is it Daniels is powerful because she's connected to the Alberts? What is it that makes them powerful as you understand it?
Well, I mean, I think the having all those cops in your family makes you powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's, they're just all connected. So yes, Julie, let's see. So Nicole is Brian Albert's wife.
Right.
Yes. And then somebody said, oh yeah, Nicole and Jen are sisters. Yep. Julie Daniels is Julie Albert.
Right. That's what you were saying. That's
Gotcha.
essentially,
Okay.
that's what you said. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I mean, what makes them, I mean, I think the fact that they're in law enforcement, I think is,
Wow.
for me, that I feel like that's what makes them so powerful. And all their connections. They're never
I'm
ending
sorry.
connections.
It's the Alberts. I'm sorry, because I was reading Sherry D's.
Oh no, it's okay.
It's amazing that Sherry D knows all this stuff. She's a New Yorker who lives in the Carolinas, and yet she has dug into this case like full blast. So you were saying, say again, that you think it's the Alberts that's the center of
I
the
mean,
power?
I think because you asked like what do I feel is so powerful? You think the fact that they're the law enforcement piece of it is makes them powerful, and probably nobody wants to mess with them. I mean, there's one in the Canton police office. One's a Canton police officer, the other one's a Boston police officer, I think, and all these other connections that they have. One's on the board of selectmen. Like they have all these people in certain strong positions that I think makes them powerful.
Brian's the eldest brother. He was, the star athlete, the tough guy. Chris Albert's the selectman, and then the other one's the detective on CPD. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And that Brian was as Sean would say, the sergeant of the fugitive recovery team. Which if any of you who have not watched The Shield, and I encourage you to watch The Shield, because Michael Chiklis, the bald-headed leader of the strike team, which is the fugitive recovery team, is from Massachusetts. Brian thinks he's Vic Mackey. I promise. Have you seen The Shield, Beatrice?
No, I have not.
I will send you season 1. You've got to see it. First of all, you're going to recognize his accent, Michael Chiklis. It's set in Los Angeles, a fictional town called Farmington that's within Los Angeles County. But he is the leader of the strike team. And when you take what we've learned from Sean McDonough about Brian Albert and beating up, I'm trying to remember the other police officers that were part of that fugitive recovery team. Eddie Hernandez, right, was one. Sean named several of them.
Right.
But when you see that character that's Vic Mackey, you're going to say Brian Albert is trying to be that guy, because he would have been coming up in the police force there in Boston when The Shield was on. I was in England at the time, when that show came on. I mean, we're talking, back in the 2004, 2005, time frame. And what Sean always postulates, and he even did so when he had on BPD's Javier Velasquez, is how did this guy come in there and all of a sudden he becomes a sergeant? Like, that's usually like a multi-year process. And Brian comes in from like the county or something. I don't know if he was with the sheriffs or whatever. And next thing you know, because I think that was where he served with the other cat. What's the cat that Scanlon was on the sheriffs, right? And then he comes into BPD, and next thing you know, he's sergeant, and he gets this gig with the fugitive recovery team. And Velasquez is really not wanting to give up the goods, but Sean is very, very suspicious about how quickly Brian rose in that department, knowing how things work there. So Sean's
Right.
going live at 9 p.m., says Dennis.
Oh.
I can only imagine what Sean's going to.
Whew.
He's going to go head to head with Turtle Boy.
Yes. Well, there's definitely more that we got to talk about. We only touched
I'm sorry.
on the court case.
Okay, I will shut up
Court,
now
yeah.
and give Beatrice the floor. So just say, DJ,
Okay.
shut up.
No,
Okay.
no. Don't shut up. I just mean like I didn't want you to be rushing to get off, and we still haven't
Okay.
even talked about
Go ahead.
the other part of the day. So we had
Ladies and gentlemen, Massachusetts, Helen of Troy, Beatrice.
So we had the standout today at Michael Morrissey's office, the Norfolk County DA's office in Canton. And it was to support all the victims. And we had a great turnout. We had about 150 people. And I was actually asked to speak. So I had a short, sweet, and to the point little speech prepared. Last night I thought about I had heard that Enrique's family may be coming. So I actually prepared a few words in Spanish to just acknowledge them, just for them to hear some words in their own language. And so I had that, and I was like, you know what? I kind of left it up in the air, and his family did come, and that was the first time at a standout. So I got to meet his mom, his sister, his nephew, his uncle, his aunt, and cousin. So yes, that was, the highlight of my day, because I was able to actually, if you watch Tom's CPU and Resistance to Silence, they did
Record it.
They did record it. CPU kind of, recorded a lot of the conversation that I had with the family, just translating back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
We had an amazing turnout. And, going back to it. So I did let them know that I was going to speak, and, they came a little bit closer because they were kind of standing off to the side. The family really has been told they can go to, standouts, but not really speak, because everything's under investigation at this point. So,
when you say they were told, by whom?
By their attorney.
So they do have an attorney.
Yes.
It's obviously not Unetti or anybody, but they do have an attorney.
They do.
Okay. Good.
And they want answers. I mean, this is very sad. They want answers. They're not getting it. And it's heartbreaking what's happening. They have a lot to say. And it's unbelievable what's happening to them. And, I told them, we're in the United States of America. We shouldn't, just because you don't speak the language fluently does not mean that your loved one deserves a lesser investigation or anything less than anybody else. It's heartbreaking. It's been 60 days since he passed, and they have no answers.
And do you think that they have a goal in mind? Do you think that what do you think they're looking to do? Because if they have an attorney and he's telling them to keep quiet, I'm just curious, what the reason for that is. Oh, wait, here you go right here.
Thank you. I'm telling you, I found my voice during this movement. I would have never, yes. I would have never, I'm not a public speaker, but I feel like when you're passionate about something and you believe in all these injustices, you can't just sit back and do nothing. We have to,
Sorry, that is the Karen Reed.
Okay.
That is the Karen Reed. If you'd like to donate to Karen Reed, I don't know how to pin to the top. Let me see. I don't know how to pin to the top of the chat. If one of you are in there who know how to pin that, and I don't know why there's not a tiny URL for that, because I remember people posting it wasn't that big, but it's still going to work if you click on it. And we actually we found someone connected with the movement that we wanted to donate to this week. And so we did that. We donated to that person who's, that difficult, financially strained situation. So we would have given to Karen, but we decided to take monies that we made last week and give it to this person who is connected to the movement and us here. And so we did that. But I encourage you, if you have $5 or $4 or whatever you got, if you'd like to do that. Oh, thank you, Sherry D. O double G. How long will I live? Who will I be? The G that I was. So thank you, love. I appreciate you. But anyway, yeah, while you're there, if you would smash that like button, not for me, but because Beatriz spoke Spanish today with
Yeah.
the Delgado Garcia family,
Yes,
which is
they
awesome.
gave me this T-shirt.
Hey!
The mom gave me this T-shirt, and they want justice. I could feel their frustration. They, they're very frustrated, and they're trying to be patient and allow the investigation to happen, but they also feel that they're not getting any answers.
How was it speaking Spanish for them? Were they really gratified that
Yes.
someone?
Yes. His sister speaks Spanish. I'm sorry. His sister speaks English fluently. So yeah.
But his mom.
Yeah, but his mom and his aunt and uncle and cousin weren't fluent. So I mean, as soon as I found out that there was somebody from the Delgado Garcia family, I went up to them. I said, "Hi, my name is Beatriz. Thank you for being here." And Brian LTL was with me. So I was translating, and then Tom CPU and Dina was on with the glare. So they kind of were there, asking me questions, things to say to them. I was kind of just back and forth, trying to, understand the question being asked, tell it to them and get the response. And so I just played translator for most of the afternoon. But they were so grateful for the love and support that they've received. And they want to go to standouts. They want to start showing, they want to start showing up more to these standouts, and we exchange phone numbers. So I am going to, keep in touch with them, let them know, because, that's why we have the sign for all the victims, right? So because all of these, because of all these cases, like we're definitely, unfortunately, they're stacking up, but we want to show support for everyone here behind me.
That is, I mean, it's such a gift to be your friend. And I remember, well, first of all, Beatriz is Cuban American, and I did get to hear her say off a few words in Spanish, and sounded beautiful. And I did get to speak with her on one of the days I was in Massachusetts when I was going to Dean to go to the football game. And I had a call with Beatriz, thankfully, and she told me about how this movement had changed her. Obviously, like, she's raised a family and done all these things and been successful in business, and purchased a couple of homes. And then, now, but publicly, she didn't sort of have this outward speaking voice. And now she does. And now people know. And now the Delgado Garcias know that they can have an intermediary with the English-speaking population that supports them. And people that are from the English-speaking population, like Brian LTL, know that I can go to Beatriz if I need to connect with this family, and that she's on the ground with SD, who, boy, did a standout by herself like this week. She's such a monster. And you introduced me to her, and you were like, "Oh, this is SD. You got to have her on the show," and all that. And we did have her on the show. But I was like, I don't know, Beatriz, I think I should have you on the show.
Well,
Do you
only
remember?
because I feel that yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so many other people that are more, and I didn't go into this ever expecting
Sure.
to ever be on a YouTube show.
Sure.
Like, I'm just a person who lives in Massachusetts who watched this trial and, believe in Karen's innocence based on the information I saw, not because anybody was feeding me the information. I came to that conclusion based on the facts of the case. And I felt like I wanted to do more. So, I was nervous. I kept hearing about the standouts for a long time. And, I was, and I don't want to say scared safety wise, but I was a bit nervous. I wasn't sure what to expect.
You've never
And
protested. So you're
no,
like, okay, yeah.
I've no, and the protest the standout that I went to is in Dedham. It's about an hour away from me. And that's that very first day, like I totally hit the jackpot. I got to meet Karen. I got to meet Mr. Reed. I got to meet Nathan Reed, Kelly Reed. And I was just like, when Karen, I took a picture with Karen, like I was shaking. Like the words wouldn't, that's why when we did this role play earlier, like
Yeah.
I didn't get to say everything I wanted to because like, I was just like, oh my God, like this is the person that I've been watching on TV for the past few months and all the recap, because I would watch the show during the day. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I would watch the trial during the day, and then I would recap it with all the different YouTubers because I felt that I wanted to dig in more and broke it down and listened to everybody's opinions. And, there are a lot of law tubers out there that are amazing and, really give you good information and kind of make you understand, is everything I'm listening to, like, are they seeing it the way I see it? And just getting the different perspectives. So, I don't know if I made that more long-winded than what you asked.
No, you're getting, as you're talking, you're getting more and more comfortable talking. And now you're one of us.
Right.
As a
because
YouTuber.
I'm
You're
also
one of
afraid
us.
I don't want to sound like I'm ranting either. But anyways, I showed up at that standout, and after I left, I felt so good because I knew I had done something, something good to help somebody else. I also met Jen Root that day, and I got to hear about Justin's story. Yes.
What's up, Jen?
She's exhausted from today. So, I got to hear about all these. I got to hear about Justin's story and totally connected with her. And yes, we are just one.
I love that. Jen is so smart. You get around Jen and you're like, oh man, this lady's so much smarter than me.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Auntie Bev's fait accompli. Yes. Auntie Bev's fait accompli is to make sure that Karen Reed does not receive justice. And thus far, Bev, I got to say, the McAlberts are cheering loud because you're done so well at it, Bev. You've leveraged your power in the worst way. Great job. That's so wonderful. Enrique's family deserve to be supported. I hope their attorneys have long, sharp claws, and it's going hard for them.
Yes.
Hey, man, I love it.
It was amazing to meet his mom. The tears, it was emotional to meet his mom. And I tried to hold my composure because your
Not
heart
cry.
breaks.
Yeah.
She was the tears. She just kept saying, he was such a good person. She mentioned that, like, she's going through his stuff and sees that he made donations to, like, St. Jude and, like, an animal shelter. And she's like, I didn't even know he did this. And all the people that are reaching out to her, letting her know that, how much Enrique meant to him and how much he helped the community, because he worked at, I believe it's a victim advocacy, at the, I don't know. I don't want to misquote, but it was something to do with advocacy.
Like his work at the DA's office, he was a victim's advocate. Yeah.
Correct. So yes, that was before he went into the academy. So we, she was just like, she's been so moved by all the stories that she's heard about her son from other people telling her like he's helped me, and and I feel like today, because of course I think everybody has the same kind of message to the Garcia, Delgado Garcia family, and it's the same, like, we support you, please let us know, like we all we exchanged phone numbers, and it was, they do know that we're out here and we're not forgetting him, and in every standout, and again, that's why we got these signs. So actually, while I'm on the subject, before I forget, I believe Sherry D did ask a question about where to get this. If you go to
Yes.
justonroute.com, Jen has on there a printable different ones of these that you can actually download, and like you can go to like Staples, Vistaprint, or wherever you want to print it from. The template is on justonroute.com.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Though, well said. Well, while you were speaking, those prayers that I was doing was going out to you and to Jen, and just prayers of respect, love, and affection for what you're doing. That's what was going on when I was doing that. But I heard every word that you said.
I know. I mean, it's crazy how through this movement, so many people have found a voice that you didn't even realize you had. And I totally feel that way. I've never been anybody I've never publicly spoken. I tend to be in that type of situation more introverted than my typical outgoing self when I know somebody. But, I knew from day one going to that standout, I would have something in common with every single person out there, that we were there for that one purpose, to free Karen Reed. So I knew that I would have something in common with every single person there, and that gave me the confidence to show up. And once I showed up, it was amazing, and I want to keep showing up. And like last week, I believe it was Brenda's birthday, and like I felt bad that I didn't go. Like I had a lot going on. It was Sunday, the standout in Dedham, and I like felt guilty. Like I'm like, I can't believe I missed Brenda's birthday. Like I was like, I'm like, oh, I should have gone. But again, I was busy, and you're trying to spread yourself to make sure that you show up to all these events, and make sure you're there for everyone.
Yeah, it's very, very, very inspiring, and I think Sherry D summed it up right here. She said, "Out of tragedy involving so many victims has brought so many strangers together, friends from all over the world." Yes, I got to have a great conversation with Sherry the other night because she decided to join us as a moderator. She went and she made gifts of the show and has promoted the show. And so I was like, well, I want to call and thank her and ask her, what can we do for the members? What can I offer that I have? I mean, obviously I could do members only show, a lot of content creators doing it, but I thought maybe I could do something even better. Maybe I could invite you members to come on air with me and we'll do a member show. So if it could be me and 9 other people, or it could be me and Beatriz to host you and 8 of you. And depending upon how long you want to stay, we could do a half hour or 45 minutes and then bring on another 8 people and have you for 45 minutes. And we can just talk about whatever you want to talk about. So if you're a member of Calling All Beings, this memberships that people were gifting, and I think now we have 100 now, I think, because we had 85 the other night. So with Sherry's gift tonight, I think we have somewhere around 100. You are welcome to just let me know, and you can reach me here. I'm going to put this in the chat. Calling.
And you've been amazing too, because you're very welcoming. Like you're not just out there wanting the cool people to come on your show per se. You open your arms to everybody, and that's amazing because, it's it's just a nice feeling to like, because when I was when I was introducing you to Esther, you're like, but you're important too. And I'm like, no, I'm a nobody in this movement. And
You
you
totally
didn't
are.
like that answer. Like you were like, no,
Yeah.
you're not a nobody. But again, I know everybody has their little part that they're contributing in whatever ways they can. And that's what's amazing about this movement, because there are some people that are more outspoken. There are some people that are more popular, but at the end of the day, like, we're just here to help the victims.
Yeah, and it turns out that now I've had you and Esty on
Yeah.
here, and you're kind of. It seems like you're going to be a regular on here.
I know I think this is the third Wednesday in a row.
Yeah, and
I'm
I
not
hope
counting, but I'm just saying.
and I hope there are many more. I told you that the platform is open to you, and if you found someone you wanted to have on, it's here, and I'm honored to be on air with you because you're there. I can only be here doing this right now. Although January 12th,
Yes,
when I
the meal of
come,
food.
before that, if there's a standout, I will be there. I don't
Yes.
care what time I have to leave New York to be at that standout.
Yes.
I will be there, and I don't
Be
care
in
what the
Dedham
weather
by
is.
10 a.m.
Yeah, I
I
can
will
do
meet
that.
you in Dedham.
What's it going to be like 2.5 hours from Westchester County, like from Danbury? It can't be that far. Maximum 2 hours.
Right.
So I'll do the math on that. But anyway, I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's snowing. Trust me, I'll be out in the snow in a t-shirt,
Right.
like I was the other day. So I'll be ready. I'll be there.
Right.
So, and then we're gonna have a meal of food with whomever wants to show up there. There will be some of the stars will be there, but then there are gonna be some regular folks like myself, Beatriz, Dennis, Brenda, Esty, Peter Murphy, Suzanne. Hopefully Dina. We got to invite Dina because I don't think
Yes.
Dina's on Twitter right now. So you have Dina's phone number.
Yes,
right?
actually, yes, we exchanged phone numbers today.
Okay, please invite Dina. I
Yes.
might ever know. I don't know if I do, but I'll look. But please, invite her. We have let's see, Scott is going to be there. Tom CPU was invited. He followed me today on Twitter, so we can DM now, and I put him in our meal of food group. You're not gonna. She's gonna correct me every time I screw that up. So,
Meal of
you talking
food.
about frozen today?
It was
Girlfriend?
cold.
It was
Yes.
cold here today. I'm telling you, it was about 30 when I went to work this morning, and we had. How much snow did I show you last week, Beatrice? We had
Yeah.
tons of snow, man.
I know we
So-
haven't gotten snow yet, but that's coming.
Yep.
So
I'm still
before I
going out
forget,
there in shorts and a rash guard, and I just wear hat, gloves, short rash, hat, gloves, rash guard, shorts, and hiking boots.
so before I forget, I
Yeah.
guess I can just tell you a little more about today's standout at
Sure.
the Norfolk County DA's office. So it was, again, a combined standout for all these victims behind me. It was great to see. Mizzy was there, LTL was there, Tom CPU, Dina. When you talk about Dina was at the courthouse today with her bullhorn, just speaking, just giving them a piece of her mind. And at the standout
love
too,
it.
she was
badass.
literally like, that role playing. She was like, Morrissey, like she was talking to him, like looking at the building, and she was amazing. She just speaks from the heart, and I call her Sweet Dina every time I see her. She's amazing.
Great dancer too. Great moves on the dance floor. So I want you to know, if you show up to the Halloween party next year, you're going to see some great dance moves. Or if there is a dance floor where we have the meal of food.
Right.
I think we should do 3 quotation marks for that. So I don't know how you get the membership. Sherry D probably knows, but I guess they go to random fans of the show. I don't know how they get distributed. What's that?
She did address it after. She did.
Okay, I don't know how you. I'm gonna sound like John Travolta when I was with the Sweat Hogs and Mr. Carter. I'm so confused. Have you ever seen Saturday Night Fever?
Yes. So yes, no,
Isn't
she did address the question though.
okay?
She said they're randomly gifted. I was watching.
Okay, see, she's paying attention. This is
Yes.
why she's more successful, and she's successful in business, and I'm not. I'm still working stiff. So, Beatrice, you did see Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite character? Did you like Tony dancing with Tony Manero and Stephanie Mangano, the Paisans? And remember, he's like, he goes and he hands the trophy. He goes, I'm giving it to the Puerto Ricans. They were better than us. Remember, he gave him the trophy after the dance contest. I'm sorry, nobody wants to hear Saturday Night Fever's references except me. All right.
So anyways, so the standout today, it was amazing. Like I said, we had about 150 people. Scott McGinnis was out there, Dennis Sweeney, Jason,
Broyles?
Jason Broyles was there. He drove up from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he actually spoke just before me, and gave a really, really nice speech. Of course, anything that comes out of his mouth just sounds so nice.
He was the warm-up act for you. It's like even the Rolling Stones. You got to have an opening act. So he was like, okay.
Yes. So, yes. So,
I love it. That's
and let's see. Jen spoke. I have to go back and I have to say I spent a lot of my time with Enrique's family. So I felt so bad because it's like I wanted to be there so that they could, understand everything that was going on. And then they were kind of off to the side. They were trying to be very discreet and just hold up his signs. And they got a little bit closer because I told them I was going to be saying a few words. So it was really nice. And they were so appreciative. All the different messages that, everybody was telling me to tell them, and they definitely felt the love. But I know I already touched on that. And again, and actually they wanted to know more about the victims. So the aunt wanted to know who each and every person here was.
Yeah.
So I actually went through the story of each and every obviously, about Justin Root, Sandra Birchmore, Karen Reed, and Officer John O'Keefe. So that they understood, what was going on. So yeah, no, it was an amazing turnout. We had awesome speakers, yeah, I mean, I think and then they did a parade around the building. So
awesome. Around the courthouse?
Yeah,
or around
around the Morrissey's
office.
Yeah, it's like a 3-story building.
Did you see Fat Boy out there or no?
No. I mean, when we first got there was like a trooper walking around, and then a Canton police office, like a police officer was like across the street, kind of keeping an eye on us. So they were definitely watching us.
I came up with a great idea.
Yes.
I can get you a meatball flag to carry. So let me explain the derivation of this. All right. One of the things I do in my spare time is take my motorcycle to like a road course, like a racetrack. Like we have these tracks kind of like Formula One uses, but we use them for motorcycles. It's my hidden passion that none of the people in Free Karen Reed know about, but I watch World Superbike. I watch MotoGP. Is basically those are the Formula One motorcycles of like Formula One cars, like the fastest cornering bikes in the world. So I have a bike that's kind of like that. And so I occasionally will go to the track with other people and do a track day where I pretend that I can actually race, which I can't. I'm nowhere near good enough to do that. But you kind of like, pretend like you're doing it. And so when you do something wrong, they have race control out there in case riders are doing things untoward on the track. And when you do, they bring out the meatball flag. And if you see the meatball flag come out, that means you need to exit the track. So I feel like I should order a motorcycle race meatball flag and bring to Massachusetts so someone could parade it at the Norfolk DA's office in honor of Mike McAlbert Morrissey.
But yeah,
All
no,
right.
Sherry D, I did see your post. I definitely think it was an honor to be able to do this for them today. And obviously, I told them anytime, we'll let them know about future standouts, future collaborations. So it was amazing, to be able to be, I felt very, obviously, it felt good to help them, but I was definitely, it was like my heart broke for them because
Yeah.
they're just, it's so tough. Like they just want answers and they're not getting them or not getting them with any sense of urgency. So,
Well, I mean, they haven't released an autopsy report, so that
no,
should be some sort of a sign of what, that should be a sign that they're not clearly not interested in doing anything that quickly.
right.
If they're trying to see if they can hold off and hold off and hold off, and then you have to wonder, has there been a has there been a an independent autopsy done that we can rely upon? That we can say, okay, this is, this seems legit. I mean, and I just don't know that I believe that. I'm very very suspicious of these people. I really am. So,
I mean,
um,
they just literally got his car back and his clothing back today. 60 days.
yeah, his car. What the hell you need his car for so that it
They've
show
been in
how he got.
possession of it.
Yeah.
So,
All right, this is what it looks like. This is MotoGP. This is from Spain, Jorge Martin. He is currently the champion. If he wins this weekend, he will be the champion. But most of the grid, you'll be happy to know, Beatriz, I would say it is about 70, maybe 60% Spanish and about 38% Italian, and then the rest is everybody else, which is there's two Frenchmen. But anyway, that's how low that's about a 300 horsepower motorcycle right there that you
nice.
cannot buy. It's not a production machine. So anyway,
Wow.
there's my hidden passion, everybody. MotoGP. All right. Yeah, that dude, that's not me. No, if you see me, you can see me through the helmet and you'll be like, that's DJ, and doesn't look anywhere near as cool as Jorge Martin. So, anyway. All right. He needs a different lawyer. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking, Jules. And I don't know if maybe as Beatrice becomes closer with the family and maybe has an ongoing dialogue, we could kind of try to find out what their thinking is and what they're planning to do, and what the lawyer is telling them. I think that's key because, yeah, if you have the wrong lawyer, I think that could be very, very problematic in terms of them getting any kind of justice. I think that's something that they should address.
Right. I mean, I did say to them, like, you know, I told they knew about like Brian LTL. They've watched the show and they were, they were touched that, I mean, that somebody who didn't know them could be this invested. And I mean, I guess they don't really understand the community that we've built in this movement.
Mhm.
And they are
They're
so
suspicious.
no, 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 not suspicious, but they're amazed about how many people actually care. Like I don't think they realize how many of us out there care about their family and what they're going through. And
Yeah.
but as far as, it's they're just you can see the frustration. Like I said, they want answers. They know something is not right. I mean, they're very well aware that something is not right. And yeah, and
They were
they
they were lied to. They were railroaded. That's me, by the way. So
that
that's
is
what I
really you?
look. Yes, that is me. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, that
Oh
is me.
wow.
Yeah, but
Looks like your knee is hitting the pavement.
well, it is. But with Jorge Martin, his
Ouch.
elbow and shoulder hit the pavement. But the tires that they get, like these are kind of the most tracky street tires you can get. You can see that there's little grooves in them, but the tires those guys get, like literally, they'll manufacture them the weekend of the race, and they'll do it to the compound that meets what the specific pavement is. Like they get to that granular level of detail. But yeah, that is me at Jennings, Florida. I have a whole album full of these, and left turns, right turns, because there's a photographer and you just pay him at the end of the day for your photos. So, but anyway, yeah, that's me. There you go. That's enough of. Let's get back to Karen Reed.
Yes.
So someone's asking, is the glare or is Brian fluent in Spanish? I don't know the answer to that question.
I did hear, yes, because Dina was live with him. She did, but I don't think they want to turn to YouTube necessarily, like as far as like going on shows or anything like that just yet. They, they did let me know that they have been watching any coverage about Enrique. But again, they're not really able to share too much information too. So they're kind of like at, it's yes, I did see his comment. Maybe they need more of a publicist than a lawyer, like Mizzy for Sandra. Not that Mizzy is PR. Yes, absolutely. They definitely need that, but I don't think they're being encouraged to go out there and talk. You see what I mean? So they're kind of being told to not talk.
But that's what I would love to find out. And you and I can have this dialogue off air.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious as to what are they being told. That's what's perplexing me right now is what are they being, what is their, I want to know two things. What are the officials telling them, which is probably nothing, and that it was an accident and all this bullshit. And I want to know from the standpoint of the lawyer, what is he advising them to and why? And okay, yeah, not talking is pretty standard. But what is his angle? What are they angling for? Are they angling for a settlement? Have they hired their own forensic pathologist? Like, the FBI used Dr. Spock for Sandra, and then Dr. Bodden was used by the family, the Birchmore family. So these are the things that I have questions about, and I'll ask you. I mean, we don't want to, we love them and we support them, and we just want to see that something is being done for them. Maybe I can make us bigger. There you go. Oh, look at that. We just got bigger.
Wow. Who said we need a background?
Yeah, we don't need a background. We look all right. There we go.
I guess. I mean, don't the bags in my eyes.
You know what? I mean, we brought you on to make this thing look, if they got to look at this face for an hour, they're tuning out. So,
I mean, I
anyway.
think eventually, I think they have a lot to say. I think they have a lot to say and are just waiting to get the okay to say it. But what I can definitely assure you, I mean, it's his sister. I think I was mentioning before, Enrique's sister is fluent in English, and she said, I am on them. Like I'm constantly in touch with the attorney, trying to get answers. So, I said, don't let them shut you up is really what I said. I'm like, you guys need answers. But yeah, I mean, I do agree. A victim's advocate is definitely something that will eventually they'll need. But like I said, I think they're just very frustrated at this process and don't understand why at 60 days that we are today, that they don't have any answers.
You know what? I'll try to find someone in Massachusetts, someone maybe of Cuban heritage, someone really nice, someone with a, maybe a great smile. I don't know. You guys, can you help me brainstorm this one? I mean, I'm just kidding. But yeah, maybe I'll kidding. I mean, maybe you could be that person.
I mean,
I'm trying to sign you up for that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think, like I don't want to insert myself in anything that I'm not, asked to. I mean, I was just happy to at that moment today be able to help them and explain to them what's going on. I was just honored and grateful to be able to, let them know, like, we care, like, just let them hear it. Like, they know we care. But definitely, yeah. I feel like they got the message loud and clear today. If there was any
Awesome.
doubt, they definitely understood that we all care and that they understand how much we care about all the victims too, and that we're not going to stop, you know, just because we're there for Free Karen Reed or, Sandra Birchmore, that we're not, or Justin Root, that we're not going to also, none of these people behind me are going to be forgotten in this movement going forward.
Yeah, like that Churchill quote from 1940, right? We shall fight in the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the seas. We shall never surrender. I love Churchill. He's my man.
Well, yes, Sherry D.
Yeah,
they
won't.
really were. So Sherry D was just commenting. Sounds like the family was receptive
course.
to you, Beatrice. No, they definitely were. I felt it. Like, I can't tell you how many times we hugged today.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It breaks your heart, what they're going through. And I think, they don't understand why it's taken this long. Like,
Because they're lying and they're trying to.
they don't have a medical
cover.
report. They're just barely getting his belongings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the worst. If you felt it, yes, of course they did. They wouldn't have kept hugging her. They would have shoved her away.
Right. And like I said, we exchanged phone numbers. We told them, Tom CPU has been promoting the Star Drive-In in Taunton coming up on December 8th. I let them know about it. And, I told them, like, come, I think they're out in Worcester. They're out in Western Mass. Again, that's public knowledge. I told them, like, hey, I'll go meet you over there. Definitely they want to start showing up more for the standouts. And I think they definitely felt the love today.
I'm seeing a second career all of a sudden for somebody, because you're very aware. Like you said Worcester, and then you quickly said, and that's out there because you didn't want people to think that you were releasing where they lived. And you're just, which is understandable because he worked in the DA's office in Worcester.
Out in Worcester,
or whatever that guy's name was.
So it's not Worcester, it's Worcester.
Worcester.
That is
British
another
pronunciation, right? Like you guys say Leominster, whereas if I ask someone from Kentucky, they'd say Leominster.
Right, Leominster.
But you guys say it the way that the British would say it.
Yeah.
It's so the sort of commingling of New England and New England is amazing. But yeah, maybe you have another thing, Beatrice, because you're have these talents that you didn't learn how to do what you do. This is you. Like you didn't learn how to welcome me at that event, to feel and say, oh, here's my friends. This is this person. This is that person. That's that person. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow. Like I said to Kate on Twitter, I don't feel like an outsider anymore. And the reason I don't feel like an outsider is because of Beatrice. Right.
Well, do you want to tell them the funny story? I don't think we've told them.
Oh, please.
So when I saw you walk into the Halloween party, Turtle Boy's Halloween party, I thought somebody was there dressed up as you. So I thought you were the costume. Like, DJ is somebody's dressed up like DJ from Calling All Beans. Because why would I think? I know you didn't live in Massachusetts, so why would I think? So I went up to you. I go, "Oh, you look like the guy DJ from Calling All Beans." You're like, "No, it's me. It's really
that
me."
is me.
I mean, everybody was in costume, so it's like, So I mean, I
totally forgot that, man.
And then, like, when I knew it was you, I'm like, I wanted to introduce you to all, like, the people that are known in this movement. And, because again, I'm just a person who showed up with a sign. I didn't anticipate all this at all. And I don't want to take any credit away from those people that are out there behind the scenes that nobody knows who they are, because I don't think anybody's really doing this for credit. Like, I
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to show my support. And
Yeah.
I'm horrified at the nonsense happening at the Norfolk County DA's office, and the nonsense going on in the state of Massachusetts. So in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So, you know, yeah, so it's definitely, everybody does their part. And, again, not just one person, it takes all different people. And that's why I'm
Yes.
saying, like, if you are in the area or come to the area, go to a standout, because you meet so many amazing people. And everybody's very welcoming, they're very friendly, and it's an amazing community. And that's what's come out of this. It's an amazing community. And you
Yeah.
wish that if something, god forbid, something bad ever happened to you, that you could have this kind of amazing support in all these strangers that really care. So yeah, it's
That's the feeling that I had, and it was this myriad, a mosaic of persons that you would encounter in this region of Massachusetts, from persons that were in their 20s to persons that were probably in their 70s. And even my new friend from Dean College, Terry Robbins, is in her 80s. And was another beautiful thing, that there wasn't a certain type of person to be, or that you had to have a certain look, or being
right.
judged on a certain standard. You're just, if you were down for the cause, you're in. And so that was, and that sort of magic trick that you pulled there, where you're able to make people, it's that Maya Angelou quote, right? Do you know that quote is it, that people don't remember necessarily everything you say to them. And if you're a fan of Calling All Beings, you probably don't remember most of what I've ever said. But people remember how you make them feel.
Right.
That's what I remember about you, and that's what I would imagine that Enrique's mom and his sister and his family, how you made them feel. And so I think that, you have this kind of gift that I think the movement is going to really appreciate. And potentially, I could even see you shifting some sort of, I'm not to put pressure on you, paradigm for them, just because they don't, maybe, aren't aware of what should be happening, but you are, because you've covered all these other cases and they haven't. They don't
Right.
know what's supposed to be happening right now. And so thank you. Thank you so much, Beatriz.
I mean,
Last question.
it's been an honor. Yes.
Yeah, no, please. You go
No,
ahead.
I just said it's been an honor. Again, you think one person can't make a difference, and I guess they can. And again, I wasn't expecting I never would have thought I'd just watch YouTube shows. Like, I never would have thought I would be on a YouTube show. And I think, I definitely try to, kind of go middle of the road, not try to be too, one way or another, and definitely try to keep the peace, and be respectful. And, that's where I'm at.
And it works so well. It's so, just being you, this thing, what they teach in yoga teacher training is, because you've had all these yoga teachers, and now, you're going to stand up in front of a class and teach, and you're like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, who do I be? And what they tell you in training is be yourself. If you're authentic, some people are not going to like you. And there are people who've come to my classes that don't like DJ yoga, and but there are a group of people that love my style, and that because I'm just coming there trying to be me and not trying to act like I'm a different teacher or somebody else, or play a role that you're really not. So I have one final question for you, if I may.
Yes.
Okay. And this is because you didn't come to the Cab Music episode, where we had on Karen Reed, Sandra Birchmore, content creators, talking about what their favorite music was. So I would like to ask you what Jen, we're going to get to this one, Jen. Myriad, that's a word. Yes, thank you. Myriad and Mosaic, absolutely. What are your 4 favorite musical artists?
Oh. So,
any, band, singer, doesn't matter. Genre doesn't matter.
so I've been more into the Latin music for a while now. So, I love Daddy Yankee.
Hmm? I thought you were
I
going to say
love
Tito Puente. I don't know what happened. Okay.
I like Louis Fonsi.
Hmm.
I like of course, oh my God, you put me on the spot. My mind just kind of
That's 2 out of
blank.
4. We're
I
halfway
know
home.
my Mr. 305. What's his name? Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Um,
Pitbull?
Pitbull. Yes, I love
Okay.
Pitbull.
Cuban brother?
Yeah.
Also
And
involved in MotoGP, part owner of a team, by the way.
oh, okay. Fun
Yep.
fact.
Yep.
So yeah, I love dancing music, like the Spanish. I think reggaeton is the type
Your
of music
jam?
because I love to dance. Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, he lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, and yay!
What's up, man?
Wow, you mean he doesn't live in Miami? No, I'm just kidding.
Loves.
Isn't he
Not
Mister?
lives, loves. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he. I'm like he. I thought he lived in my. I don't know. Got to throw a little silliness in here.
Absolutely. That's part of CAB is we're serious and we're sillies. It's a sine wave. So sometimes we're silly and we laugh, and sometimes we're serious and we're near crying like we were tonight.
So
right?
yes, but yes, I love to dance. It's my thing. I'm also a Zumba instructor, so it's something I love to dance. So
All right. So I think we did good on that. You were able you're able to pull all that out. That was awesome, man. I love it. All right, we got to bring up our guest for this week because we're gonna have this gentleman on. Oh, hold on. Just real quick. All right. Okay. Let's talk about this man right here.
I love
Jelly.
him. He doesn't know I love him, but I love him. I love I just love the YouTube content creators. Can we just,
Me too.
give you guys an applause? Like, I mean, you guys are out here telling it like it is, not being afraid to put your opinions out there. And, and really dig into things. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I can't even watch regular TV anymore because these abbreviated stories just don't do it for me anymore.
Right.
Like I just can't. They I always use the example it's overkill when there's snow coming. It's all you hear about, puts everybody into a massive panic attack. Like you have to run out and get bread and milk and so it's like I feel like this is the way of the future, that we can touch upon topics and dissect them and look at different points of views, and nobody's telling you say this or say that. So I definitely think this is the way of the future.
Oh, it's so wonderful what Valhalla is saying here, talking about the movement. It's analogous to what you've said about one person. We're each a grain of sand in the desert, but with some wind, we become the Scirocco. I know if you guys are thinking that's the Volkswagen two-door, but she's talking about the weather anomaly known as the Scirocco, which is like a little sandstorm kind of a deal. Let's talk about Young Jelly. And by the way, you're welcome. We will have an episode where we can have you come on with him if you want to speak to Mike on air. We can set that up. This week it's going to be Britt and myself. There's a special twist this week. There's going to be a surprise on Cab.
Nice.
I can't get into what it is yet. Sunday you will find out.
I'll be watching.
But she wanted to give a shout out to content creators. So let's do that now. Let's give them out to Turtle Boy, Sean, Brian LTL, Mazza, The Glare, Nurse Kim, right?
Love me some
Insider.
Nurse Kim.
Nurse Kim is boss.
I'm her best friend from out of town. You're not. I am.
You are. I wouldn't even try to take any mantle. I'm just a fan
and Miss
of
Shorty, give it up for Miss Shorty out there in Australia doing her thing.
Miss Shorty. Say it like Sean. Miss Shorty. Yeah, there you go. Dorchester.
Yeah.
And so
and then the law tubers. I mean, I learned so much from
Brother
Melanie
Council
Little.
with the Yarmulke, my Jewish brother.
Yes, I do watch him as well.
Mhm.
And the
Andrea?
lawyer, yes, the lawyer, I have a little soft spot for the
He's
handsome
got great hair.
Peter
Great hair.
Tragos. Yes.
Handsome guy.
I mean, everyone's amazing, and I feel like
Melanie.
this is. Oh yeah, Melanie. Oh my God, I'm one of her cupcakes.
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah, love her, and I love hearing what she has to say.
Me
That's
too. She's brilliant, witty,
yeah.
brilliant. She's just funny. She's like if you're going to be like a content creator, like to give you this my perspective, haven't done this for 15 years. Only 3 years on YouTube, but 15 years on podcast and doing roundtables. I've done roundtables like 15 years ago. But
Yeah.
this woman and Nurse Kim, and it's not because they're women, they could have been guys, it wouldn't matter. Because Turtle Boy, you could put in this category as well, to a degree, is you didn't teach her how to do this, how to be witty and funny and engaging and incisive and analytical and all these things that she is. She just knows how to do it. She didn't need to go to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting to learn how to do what she does. And the same thing you could say for Nurse Kim. So here we go. Let's see what Sherry D's saying about Miss Shorty. Miss Shorty started by posting shorts. Now she's a full-fledged creator, talking about some topics that make people want to hide but are so important to help getting those through tough times. Yes, she talks about subjects that are mental health related, that are not related to Karen Reed or Sandra Birchmore or any of these topics. So yes, I have great regard for her. And even on this topic, well, you know what? Let me just finish the promo for her because I have other stuff, a couple things I got to close out the show with.
Yes.
Young Jelly, Mike Jerks, the promo will go out tonight. I will go and make this into some artwork and get that link out because Sunday, I want to say it's 7 p.m. Massachusetts time, we will have the Mike Crawford. Put your hands together. Everybody get off your damn feet.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. Money Mike Crawford. Let's go back to this. We like this. It's cozy now, right? Yeah.
We love him. He's a dog lover, and there's something to be said about dog lovers.
Wonderful human being, advocate, very human guy. I have a lot of things in common with Mike, and what I don't have in common with him, I admire about him. So, yeah, I think he's a great guy, and I think I understand where he's coming from. So yeah, I'm in a great space, and I have a whole bunch of colleagues. I'm also going to promo something pretty soon, Beatrice, and I know you're going to laugh, but I'm going to say this anyway. So my friend Tim Halloran, Tim came to town recently for business in Canton, and he filmed the Albert's house, like me, like a little skeeve ball going by.
Like we all have.
Like this, like we all have, right?
I drove by with my camera.
And this Irish-American brother is a writer who wrote a book called Bigfoot Influencers. And he's going to connect me up with two things. First of all, Squatchachusetts. Okay, so Dave McCullough is the only guy I know that's a member of Squatchachusetts, but there's three. And these are basically guys that are out there in Western Massachusetts that or in the hills and wooded areas of Massachusetts that a lot of people don't go, that they research Bigfoot.
Okay.
And Bigfoot is a humanoid type of it sort of looks it looks human but much longer arms, like longer arms than humans have, and obviously big feet. And they're in 48, 49 states. So Tim wrote a book about all the all the people he met who are influencers in this topic. And everybody who watches Joe Rogan, if you're familiar with Survivor Man Les Stroud, he was on with Joe Rogan for 3 hours. He goes out and teaches people how to survive. Well, he's doing a new movie about Bigfoot because he has had experiences out in the Canadian Rockies and so forth with Bigfoot. He's had several experiences with Bigfoot. So, yeah, we're gonna promo that on a cab episode in the near future. And I thought to make the Massachusetts connection, I would highlight Dave McCullough because when you hear him talk, you're gonna, oh boy, he's one of us. He's definitely one of us. He's definitely a masshole, but great guy and the most knowledgeable guy on Bigfoot. The most famous guy is Ronnie LeBlanc because he's been on, I don't know, TV shows and documentaries, and he's also a native of Massachusetts. So anyway, you and I have never talked Bigfoot or UFOs, but that'll be for our dinner conversation maybe in January.
You have to catch me up.
I'll get you caught up because you're probably like, do you think the Bigfoot is like not a thing or UFOs or what is your?
I'm willing to believe in the possibilities. I do believe there are things bigger than ourselves out there, or I don't know if things wasn't the right term, but I think there's
that is.
I'm open to any idea because I'm willing to listen, and I think that's where, I'm willing to listen, and if there's some facts to back it up, then hey, that helps me understand a little more too, or validate, But yeah, I mean, I'm always willing to listen. I'm not the kind of person that wants to be right. I'm willing to be, give my opinion and be receptive to others' opinions and be willing to listen. So I think, I'd be open to it.
Yeah, let's. Can you read this tweet right here?
Beatriz, natural on DJ show. Seriously.
I second that motion. She is a natural. She's found her voice, and it's not going to be long before Beatriz has a YouTube show. But until she does that, I'm going to welcome her on mine before she blows up, and then she forgets who I am. So
before I forget, since we're on the topic of Massachusetts, I just want to say that thank you to everyone who's tuning in from all over the world. And one of the things I said in my speech when I was talking outside of Morrissey's office, wake up, Morrissey. The residents of Massachusetts are watching and the world is watching. I ended it with do better. We deserve better. It's Massachusetts I feel like has taken on a whole new spotlight in a negative sense. I felt like I was always so proud to say I'm from Massachusetts. And now there's a pit in my stomach because of all these things happening that, it breaks your heart. I don't like what's happening. Massachusetts has been very, we have great hospitals. There's so many other good things that we're known for. Colleges. We have amazing colleges. Yes. It breaks my heart what's happening, but I do believe that if we continue to move forward, that hopefully we can regain some of that. I feel like we have a bad reputation now, and don't get me wrong. Like I see a police officer and I drive by it and I cringe. Like I'm scared. Like when I was leaving today, I was like, I did make sure I was looking around because it was dark by the time we left. By 5 o'clock, it was already dark outside. So, we appreciate all the support, and I get that not everybody can go to a standout, but if you share the information, get the information out there, that helps too. So everybody, like I said, everybody does a little bit of what they can and get the information out, and it helps. And I think that hopefully we can get the reputation back that we've always had. And, and I guess the more you find out about this stuff, the more you realize it isn't just Massachusetts. So this corruption is everywhere. But I think when you've been kind of not aware of things happening in your own state, like now I'm aware, like I wasn't before. You know what I mean? So it's just this one case has brought all these other things to light. And, I just hope that we can restore, our reputation moving forward. And we thank everyone tuning in from everywhere, all over the world, and just supporting us here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And let me get some of that going right there. Hold up. Wait, where is it? There
I
it
heard
goes.
it for a second. Yep, there you go.
Yes, we are inspired. We were talking to the other night. We had a meeting with Christina Rasmussen from Indiana, and Julie's from Indiana. By the way, speaking of people who've had Bigfoot sightings, Julie's one of them. In Indiana, when she was a girl, at the edge of the woods of her suburban neighborhood, backed up to some woods, and she had a sighting at the end of her street. So, but in Indiana, you have somebody named Christina Rasmussen who's sitting there late at night writing a speech, and we're on StreamYard like this, helping her write her speech to the Canton Select Board meeting. A girl from Indiana. So you think people aren't with you? I know you don't think that. You know that they are.
Right.
I just wanted to point out an example. That, yes, standing ovation for Beatriz. Thank you. Yes, yes. But no, there are people that care. That she cared enough to call in to the Canton Select Board meeting from Indiana. Like, it never would affect her life, what's going on with you, but she does care because she feels like if there's, I think she used the Martin Luther King quote, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, something like that, and to the, I'm going to try to do another King quote, and hopefully someone can correct me if I get it wrong. That it's not a hate thing for these folks that are on the wrong side of this. Some of them know they're on the wrong side, like KP and the other guy, the one who broadcast from his mother's basement. I don't know his name, but they know the truth. But there are people who actually do believe this, and I think the King quote is something like, hate doesn't drive out hate, only love can do that. And darkness doesn't drive out darkness, only light can do that. Something like that is there's a King quote. I'm paraphrasing. So, we don't need to hate, certainly not the O'Keefes, and certainly not people who support them, because you are trying to F with their system of belief. They believe the policemen are all good, the firemen are all good, they would never do anything corrupt, my district attorney would protect me, and they would never think that people would do things like this. And when you to tell them, no, they actually have done this, and they actually have conjured this conspiracy, and it has, as Shannon McMahon said, in concentric circles, it has gotten larger and larger and larger. Well, the thing is that your belief system has to change when the facts around you have changed. That's when your belief system has to say, okay, maybe not every policeman is good, because that's a fact. And now, how do we know that? We know that because we know that they're human, and all humans aren't good. That's humanity for you. And power corrupts. And being a policeman or being a chief law enforcement officer, that's what Michael Morrissey is. He's the chief law enforcement officer in Norfolk County. It is a very, very powerful position. Michael Morrissey can be pulled over, dead ass drunk, not even able to walk, and they would drive him home. And that's just, that's just the way it is. That's not how it should be. And we explained about Scott, who, very, very kind man, Schiffer, who came in the chat multiple times, and thankfully that got to meet Beatriz today. He felt as though, because he's been such a great citizen down in Stoughton, that the Stoughton police chief would have called the Canton police chief and said, hey, this guy, Scott, is a great guy. You should let him off. Well, if in fact that happened, that's the system that's wrong. Because if you've broken the law, it shouldn't matter that you know somebody, right? It does, but it shouldn't. And the fact is that they've just persecuted Scott, and now they're prosecuting Scott. That's the problem. Is this unequal, this blind woman who holds the scale of justice is going like this. I can see. And if it's
So
an
I want to make
Albert,
2 points on that. So
Yes.
how do you tell a family of the victims behind us that they can do a 6-month investigation, that a 6-month investigation was done on rubber duckies, innocent little rubber duckies, but that their loved ones who lost their lives, Justin Root got 30-day investigation. Enrique, we're at 60 days, no answers. Sandra Birchmore, I don't know how long that took, but again, all these people, all these victims did not get the same investigation that
the rubber ducks got.
The rubber duckies got. It's awful. And my heart breaks for the O'Keefe family also. They lost a loved one. They've lost, a son and a daughter. That hasn't changed. That's not going to change. But I don't know how anybody can sit through that trial and the evidence that has come out, and even all the stuff that it didn't allow. I mean, they show up to every single hearing, every single court date. They're there every single time. They don't miss a date. They're not missing information. And I don't understand how everything that came out before and during and after and since, and how they don't see it. I pray that they get the justice justice, but their justice is not by going after Karen Reed.
I don't want to pull out another quote, because so far we've done Churchill, we've done Martin Luther King, we've done Maya Angelou, but there's a Mark Twain quote that's apropos here, because they're experiencing certain feelings from people that are very, very adept and very cunning. From day one, when it was Jennifer McCabe, and then the Albert family. And the Mark Twain quote is that, and it's very apropos of our society. In politics it works, and it goes like this: it is far easier to fool a man than to convince him he's been fooled.
Yeah.
And they've been fooled. And part of it is their belief system in what they believe. I believe in organized society is this. And now you're telling me that that's upside down, right? From like Stranger Things, the upside down, right? I think Melanie makes reference to Stranger Things on her show. And you're telling them, no, it's upside down. It's not that. It's flipped around. And they don't want to believe that. And then you have the most powerful family in Canton, as you mentioned earlier. You mentioned all the players that are wrapping their arms around them and embracing it. It's okay. We're going to get that. We're going to get that scuzzy woman who ran over your Johnny, and we're going to make her pay for it. And you'll see, even the DA is going to agree with us. And sure enough, he did. So what Sean said, one of our other guys in the community, obviously he's under fire now. And he said some regrettable things, but we still love Sean. He said, why didn't Paul O'Keefe go down and ask Joshua Levy for a meeting and say, Attorney Levy, show me what you have. Show me why I should believe that this is true. And he didn't do that. So why didn't he do that, Beatriz?
Wow. I just got some breaking news.
Please.
Actually, Jen just sent it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So the judge approved new testing of Karen Reed's Lexus. So that was one of the, so Good. She's going to allow it. Jackson, sorry, I don't mean to, but before I forget, Jackson did say he's okay with them testing it as long as his expert is there. And in addition to his expert being there, that if his expert feels that something, he did bring up the megabytes and megabits, by the way, and that if his expert feels that something they're going to destroy it, that he needs to have the power to step in and say, halt it, and either bring it back to court for a decision, but that not to, that he was okay with letting them test it, but they just wanted their expert there.
And for Bev's standpoint, it's like, well, we can just get more money out of Karen Reed and drain her of more money that she doesn't have.
Right.
Because she can't earn any money. Who the hell's going to hire her right now? Yeah. So it perfectly to plan. And I'll tell you what, whoever you are out there, you're going to have a really hard time getting me to convincing me that Bev is honest. But we got to get Beatrice to bed because it's nearly 10 o'clock now in
Yes.
Massachusetts time. And I'm really honored that you would take the time to come
No
here
problem.
and update us
Yeah.
and
No,
in
today
the
was a
audience.
busy day. Went from the courthouse to the standout in 45 minutes, and then I was on with you guys. So yes, no, I definitely don't mind talking about it. It was definitely an experience. I feel like I'm gonna forget so many other details because everything was, it's like I still can't even believe I was sitting in the courtroom, like the courtroom that I was watching on TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's crazy.
You're in it. You're
Like,
in it now. But you have, based on what you told us tonight, the best outcome. You know, when you told me that you were gonna, thank you, Jen. I really appreciate you, Sherry D. You guys rock. I got to get Beatrice out of here because I literally don't think she's eaten since she got home. I hope she got to grab something and just down something before the show because that's what I did with sushi. Um, but so we got to sign off now.
okay.
I'm gonna talk to Beatrice for just a second off of air, but I want
Yes.
to thank Sherry D, Jules, Kelly was here. I think all our Jessica, Miss Jessica NB was here. All our moderators were here, and all of you that chimed in. I love you. Please let us know when you want to come on air, and we
Yeah,
will do an episode where you can come on air with us.
absolutely. I'm always happy to come back, and I like spending time with you and your audience. So yeah, sounds
Maybe
like
we're
a
gonna have you
plan.
for the Dean episode, the all Dean college episode, and you can be the moderator with SD, Boozy, Terry, and me. So
Yes.
yeah, maybe yeah, we got to get Beatrice in on there. So let's just it's done. There you go. We're gonna we'll call you like the host, and I'll be one of the Dinos.
All right.
All right.
And you know what's crazy? As much as I'm exhausted from today, like I am so pumped. Like I'm pumped to keep moving forward. I'm pumped to help figure out other ways that I can help and other, participate in other standouts, other causes. So I have to say, like, when you do good, like it definitely you feel so good to be able to help others. And it's definitely like I could talk about this for another 4 hours, put it that way. But anyways.
Well, I mean, there's we're gonna do more episodes. I'll get
Yes.
that Dean episode going. And I based on
Yes,
what you
Sherry.
told us tonight, I think I see another role for you. I think we all of us, not just me, all of us, including you, see another role, a role for you that we didn't know that you were gonna have until today.
Right.
So
Yes, Sherry D said adrenaline. I think so because I can't even feel hunger today. Like I don't know. Usually when I'm working, I'm every couple hours, I'm like, oh, let me grab a snack.
some
And today I didn't and I didn't know if I was gonna have access to bathrooms either. So I barely drank any fluids. Like I feel fine. Like can't tell you. I feel like I don't know. Like, that feeling when you exercise and like you feel so good. Like it was an amazing day.
That's how I'm gonna come feel when I come back to Massachusetts to see you guys. I'm gonna be so adrenalized to see you guys and go to a standout and then have a
Meal of food.
yes. All right, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, on behalf of my co-host Beatriz, this is DJ, and by all my chat moderators, we're saying peace out, one love. We'll see you down the road, and we always wonder what's up around the bend.